And then they had to pull that nonsense at the end where they talked about, oh, all these undefeated teams going. Florida State's going to be probably the one left out. Like, come on, guys. 5 teams are not going undefeated.
Yeah, is that what they
Does not
concluded? I heard that, but I was creating my cocktail.
Well, it was weird. I forget one of them. I thought Herb Street was saying, well, they got to win over LSU, so that's a good chance that they got that in their hip pocket. But then they put up some weird Prudential, which I remember that Prudential power thing from them came up before, and it had FSU like ranked 12th or something in it.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of wacky computer Prudential has, but they had FSU. If all these teams go undefeated, it's only a 43% chance of getting in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, suck it. We're 7-0. There you go. I said it. I need an education on this one, Gene, because I did not see the graphic itself. Okay. So are they claiming that Oklahoma would be in over us if they were undefeated?
Yes, the team that UCF was leading for most of the game that they had to pull out. So the mighty Knights down in Orlando traveled to Oklahoma. But look, here's the thing. You got to understand this. They didn't necessarily say that. As a matter of fact, it seemed like Herb Street was trying to sell the fact that win over LSU is probably going to be enough to get Florida State in, given this hypothetical, which is probably a 1% chance of all those teams going undefeated.
Yeah.
But then they posted this stat. Now look at it. There's 100 different power ratings. Prudential apparently they're a sponsor to get their name out there, and they have their own power ratings. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry can have a power rating. So their power rating system says, giving this crazy hypothetical, Florida State, while these other teams all have like an 80 to 90% chance of getting in, Florida State's was only 43. But again, it's not even, and even I think Herb Street said this isn't us saying this. He was almost like taking a shot at this Prudential thing. This is what their thing is saying. I've never even heard. I mean, Prudential's an insurance company. Come on, are you going to really follow what they're saying percentage wise on who's going to get in the playoffs and who isn't? Come on, it's completely a promotional thing. Don't take it seriously. Florida State goes undefeated; they are in. I mean, come attack me later if it doesn't happen. If Florida State runs the table, they're in.
Yeah, that's just that's wild. I thought I heard one bit though of Herb Street saying that Florida State should be in. They should be rewarded for taking on a heavyweight from a different conference. I do believe
he said they'll have 2 SEC wins in their docket, which is pretty impressive.
More impressive than Oklahoma's ass. I'll tell you that much. And it's not even close.
Like about game control, they did not have control over the mighty Knights.
So. No, you're telling me that Georgia's resume will be stronger? I will say BS. I will tell you BS in that circumstance. But let's not have that debate just yet. The first college football playoff rankings roll out on Halloween night. Interestingly enough, Gene, we're going to be a part of that discussion for the first time since 2015. I think we might have been in for like 10 seconds in 2015. So we'll have.
I'm guessing we might be live for that, right, Tom?
We're going to do a live reaction show?
We have our meetings on Mondays, but I think we need to have a reaction show going on live.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
People asking about the commentating on the game, but we don't get the privilege of hearing Chris and Kirk on the call. So
definitely saw people complaining about it though.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess something about, I don't know. This doesn't sound disrespectful to me, but I guess it is. The wealth influencer. Why didn't media, all caps, us, we're all one, this entity, allow the announcers to put that percentage of 43% on national television? I think that was to make the playoff. They do everything to give FSU no credit. Go Noles.
I mean, I don't know. Does it matter? I mean, I guess the idea is that like I guess in 2014, like the frustration was because the narrative was being pushed. It felt like the narrative was being pushed by ESPN that in the college football playoff committee, that Florida State wasn't, the whole game control thing, that they weren't as good as they're just being undefeated. So there was talk. It felt like a real legitimate concern that Florida State, despite being the defending national champion, despite having the reigning Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback, despite having a team filled with NFL potential, and despite not losing a game, there was a concern that could they get left out? I mean, that was a real discussion. So I understand why you'd be concerned about the narrative. But I think the way college football is going, man, I think they're, like we've said, I think they're going to get in as long as they're undefeated. Now, if they get a loss, I guess that's when you get into the politicking and perceptions and all that. I don't know. I don't know. And again, I didn't see the broadcast, so I can't speak to it. But I felt like going into that game, Duke was going to be the darling of that game because they're Duke and everybody loves an underdog, and Riley Leonard's playing hurt. So I'm sure that's how it played out.
Brian Beers, what the fudge? FSU drops from 4th to 6th in the latest polls over at ESPN. Sounds a lot like the announcer speculating about a weakened ACC during the telecast last night. Look at this. Things to not worry about, Brian, would be this ranking on ESPN because they have Ohio State at 1, which hopefully most of you saw parts of that game against Penn State. Penn State's 3rd. They've lost the game. Alabama's 5th. They've lost the game. Oklahoma skated, barely passed. Not skated. They eked past UCF. So I don't know what goes into the FPI, but yeah, that's what it shows. Florida State, but they're up 3 though. Apparently, it shows that they got a green arrow with the 3 firing up there. So I don't know.
It's. I mean that the FPI has always been the most suspect of any of the rankings out there. I mean, I don't know. I've given up on that one. That one's not the best.
Their resume one, their SOR strength of record, Florida State's 2. So that's a little bit more favorable. They're ahead of teams like Oklahoma, Washington, Alabama, Texas, Ole Miss, Georgia. So pick the ones that makes you feel better, that confirms your bias, Brian. Don't pick the ones that make you upset, friend.
I also like that we've got like the fractions of the fan base on one side who are like, why won't they play a complete game? Why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? Why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? And then the other sides are like, why doesn't anybody respect us? Why don't they put respect on our name? And it's like, okay, well, maybe we can figure out how to get the FSU fans, or at least the vocal ones, to enjoy being 7-0.